Now, earlier today, we also heard from one of the leaders of one of those big banks, Jamie Dimon, CEO of JPMorgan, said the U.S. economy should have grown 40% in the last decade, not 20%. And he said the lag was that workers didn't have the necessary skills. So we've heard a lot about upskilling, the lack of skills, the gap in the labor force. To me, it sometimes kind of sounds like a management thing of, oh, I want to hire people, but I don't have the skills. And really, it's just an excuse not to hire. But this is a theme, Sozzi, that Dimon has been on for a long time. And I'm inclined to take him at his word that he is sincere about this. But, I mean, I don't know. It's still been a
What's his data source? Did he disclose his data source? Where's his data coming from?
Jolts, right?
Yeah,
you know?
Well,
why do we have 7 million jobs open?
We got to press him on it. But listen, if the economy was, if it should have grown 40%, imagine where inflation would be right now. We would not be talking about a Fed that is patient.
But would it?
I think it would.
I mean, because what's interesting is when you look at what the Fed did last year, they basically said fiscal policy, the tax cut is going to make the economy grow faster than capacity. Therefore, we'll get inflation. Well, we got growth faster than capacity, allegedly, but inflation was nowhere to be found and allowed the Fed to back off. And so I guess I sort of question why are we so worried about inflation? Maybe
actually, that's an extra 20%.
It's doubling.
That is like
doubling
early 80s. Like you're spending what? 20% on a mortgage rate like my parents did. That's crazy.
Well, and also then the big question is, how do we address this crisis? This has been something that we have been talking about. I mean, at this level,
I
think it could be. I think it could be getting to the extent that it could be a crisis. I mean, this is something we've been talking about now for years, the widening skills gap. Our colleague Rick Newman has talked to numerous business owners and just people who have had a very, very hard time finding the skilled workers that they need in order to grow their business. So I think there is some truth to that. Whether or not it would have actually doubled the economy, I don't know if that's actually a fair point from 20% to 40%, but I mean, I think there is still something there.
If you're making cars on the General Motors production line for your whole entire life, where are you going? You're going to go hire to go to Alphabet? Probably not. And who's going to teach you those skills to go work at Alphabet?
Well, yeah.
Right.
So what role does the government or should the government play?